Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all. I still can hear myself. I'm gonna talk about my work as a story and how did I'm trying to build my practice and how did it start at first. The, the topic of the way I chose the name of this session or this part of the keynote session is Time Held Open, a correspondence between words. I see my work as something that travels between the presence and between different words, the death, the future, and the past, and how they all shape who I am right now. So it's something coming from within myself and how am I viewing the world and how it's growing as I'm growing my practice. I'm gonna start with how did I start first. It was in 2024. I was working with Jim, a person from Jabalia refugee camp in northern Gaza. Jim is my friend. At that time, the war on Gaza were very intense. So we were sitting and talking a lot about the war in the university, in the streets. It was the only topic actually we were talking about. And at that time, I was doing my graduation project. And I was asking myself a lot of moral questions. What does it really mean to be an architect right now? What does it really mean to design or to research in time like this? As we were speaking, with time we were, things were being more intense and the violence is getting worse. So I decided to work with Jim to document his childhood. I was asking him, what did he do during his day? How did he go to school? Jim left the refugee camp in 2011, and he never went back. So all of the things he was telling me, they were based on memories. And whenever I was asking for photos or things to share that I can just archive or to keep, there was always the answer where I lost it during the war of 2009. Most of his memory, they were no longer exist. So as we were working, we were trying to build what he was telling me. We used to set and sketch and then move to renders and 3D models to try to imagine and to document what have been already lost. We first started with the map, a satellite map from his house in Jabalia refugee camp. And where did he used to go to pray and what did he do on Fridays on vacation. So we were just following the path and the stories that were shaping his life there. What did he used to play as a child? How did Friday look like? This was the first layer. This was in 2024, towards May 2024. After that, this is the map. We compliant. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the map. When I asked Jim to tell me about his day, he used to always start with his house in blue, and then tells me about his school. Here, the first few years of his life is from age 9 to age 11, where he used to go to the Anara school. And here it happens, the first incidents where there's a bombing while he was walking to school. And this is how he chose to. And this is the market he used to go to after the school. and he was telling me about the generational history it had. His grandfather used to work, he was a farmer, he used to plant tomatoes and like different vegetables and then go sell it in the market. And then he told me his dad's role in the story. He had also like a shop in this market, and then Jim was attending there to just shop after school. This market does no longer exist. And then the second part of the map was, the lower part was in him changing schools, where he was a little bit older and he was a teenager, where this is the school he went to, and then he used to take the longer route to go back to the house so he could pass by the girls' high school. And then like another bombing incident happened, and it's marked on the map. The importance of this map was for me to center the daily life before the war, where the normal, where there's no migration, there's no movement. How did life look like away from war? It was very important for me to archive and to focus on that. And also shows the social relationships and the family connection it had while he was narrating the stories. Here we see the mosque they used to go out to pray to, and their grandparents' house. Also, the scale is very important in this drawings. It's important because he was talking in the mind of a 11-year-old, so he was like, how did he see things and how did he imagine them? So this was the first phase of the project. This is the map. As we were working, the war, and like we layered it on the satellite maps, I wanted to go back to the reality. At the time, Jabalia refugee camp was almost fully demolished. So it was unethical for me to just go back there, and then decide to build. Because as we all know, in architecture school, we're asked to design something and to build something. And that didn't sit right with me at that time. So what we had to do to exit this reality and like to keep moving forward was to create a different timeline where the future and the past and like the present all come together. I'm gonna explain the timeline. This is where we were at that time. And then we imagined like all the wars, like these are the wars that Jim have attended during his stay in Gaza. He was present then. And this is the future. As in 2000, like we imagined in 10 years, inshallah, Gaza would be liberated, and Jim returns to Gaza and starts explaining what he's seeing. And then from there, we started imagining different futures, like to materialize like the imaginary. So we imagined few projects, and these projects came from conversation and from the initial map Jim have drew. So in this timeline, writing becomes a very important method. Me and Jim, we decided to start writing letters from the future, where Jim is in Jabalia refugee camp, and Jabalia refugee camp is liberated, and he's walking in the alleys of the camp and describing what is he seeing. And as he describes, one of the few things he starts describing is his house. And from there, we took this project and we started, like, I asked him to describe the house he's seeing. How is it, like, how does it look like? And architecture beyond occupation, beyond destruction. I'm gonna leave this for a second for whoever can read in Arabic. So here, the map became the memory became a map and the site of the project itself. From there, we chose two projects, two sites of interventions. The first one was his family house that had been destructed multiple times during past wars and was destructed again in 2023 and after October 7. This work was like a conversation between me and Jim, and I was just a mediator for him, for what he is imagining, how does it look like. This is like one of the renders. And it's very interesting, while like he was speaking about the house, he was also speaking about the neighbors and how his relationship with the neighbors like is very important to him, and how does it want it to look like. And in this project in specific, there was no demolishing, it was only rebuilding. And the next site was the school, because it was an important node in the map. The school was, the school itself right now in Gaza in times of war is a shelter. It's a place of weddings, a place of mourning, place for shelter, and place for education. So it doesn't function as the normal schools we know. So the first thing we did is we took a plan of an UNRWA school, and we started planning, layering all the different uses. And then Jim started telling me how he imagines it to look like. And one of the first things is destruction, actually, to remove the school of the wall of the school, and to have the schoolyard as a part of the urban structure itself, and how will the school like work after hours. And like he imagined it to be as a market, and then we started like adding layers of market. I don't know if you could see, like here there's market, and then after school activities, how does like a communal kitchen, and all these things, and how they function now and then. So in this project, like in this drawing, there is like the past, like which is in this case is in times of war, and the future where like the walls have like disappeared, and then it's like a continuous of the urban social life. From here, I started writing letters as a practice, as an architectural methodology, as a place where I question the realities we're in, and a place to challenge what we're in. I think in times like that and this right now, what's going on with the world, it's very important to challenge ourselves to imagine beyond what's all the political states and what's going on. I started with a letter for my grandfather, dead grandfather, asking him about how did he create a home, how did he build a home in diaspora. My grandfather was displaced in 1948. He passed away in 2011 in Libya. He left and never came back. And through these series of letters, I start taking like spaces and geographies that I question, like the Mediterranean Sea and my do it. And that, no, this is not that. I'll leave you for a second to read the letter. So here the letter starts to be an initial step towards materializing different futures and to a place to think or narrate different realities than where we are right now. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.